to Axum. The construction of the church is dated somewhere between, okay, the 1150s and the 1170s. Okay, so it's almost 1,000 years old. Okay, it's almost 1,000 years old. During the reign of King Lalibela, one of the most famous rulers of Ethiopia's Zagwe dynasty. In fact, the ancient town of Roha was named after King Lalibela himself upon his death. Okay, so this is a frontal shot. If y'all see me in Ethiopia when I was pointing out what people know of as the swastika, which is nothing but a cross, and it was right there on the side of the Ethiopian church, this is where I was at. I was at Lalibela, and Lalibela is considered the New Jerusalem. You know, when Jerusalem fell, you know, in the Ethiopian, you know, and King Solomon, to them, King Solomon had a son by Queen Sheba, whose name was Menelik the First, and Menelik, along with the first, you know, when Menelik left Jerusalem, he went to see Solomon. Even though this is all a story, I'm just telling you the story. Not that I necessarily believe it, but family want to believe it, and I'm not trying to argue with them right now. But they believe that Menelik came back with the 10 Commandments. And from that point on, Jerusalem, Axum became the New Jerusalem. Axum, Lalibela is considered the New Jerusalem, where all the pilgrimages would, you know, take place, and, you know, they would come from miles, you know, all over Ethiopia during the sacred festivals to this area to worship. And they don't like foreigners coming in to Ethiopia at this time because they don't want no interference into their sacred festivities. And so this is the church from the top. And when I was up there, I say, damn, you better not get too close to that edge. Because I tell you what, I know it's been some people that made that wrong step. If your ass fall off of that, baby, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. I'm just gonna tell you that straight up. You ain't gonna make it. That got to be at least 30 feet, 40 feet down. 60 feet down. That ain't just no little drop. And then that's all, rock. Your ass hit that, you going splat, straight up. So this is that from the top. I done took many shots, and I'll do that, later on, where I show, the life and times of Sara, Suten, Seti. I can't wait to show that, get that back in effect for people to see, so niggas can respect my walk. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't walk with the best. I didn't walk with the best, and I love them, and I thank them, for blessing me with that opportunity. It's like how these people say they walk with, you read in most of these holy books, and they say, these men walk prophets. Well, I feel the same way, that I walk with prophets, walking with Dr. Ben, walking with Dr. Clark, walking with Walter Williams. You know what I'm saying? Meeting all these great men. You know what I'm saying? And so it hasn't been a greater time in my life, than when I was, earlier in my years, when I was going to see these men speak, and they was teaching me and giving me all the information that allowed me to be the scholar that I am today. If it wasn't for Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Walter Williams, if it wasn't for my uncle Pianki Menkepera, if it wasn't for Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, if it wasn't for Malcolm X, if it was not for Marcus Garvey, the Messiah, there could not be no General Sara Suten Seti. So though I'm the next layer on the pyramid, I always give homage to them blocks that was laid before me. And I'll never try, even if the way, I see the world now may be somewhat different, even though the basic premise of what I teach is the same as my teachers. You know what I'm saying? It still does not change that these are the early layers of the pyramid, and without the pyramids at the bottom, it is no way for the next layers to have anything to be, you know, to anything you could stand on or lay on. And so, you know, I'm the next tier on top of the other tiers. You know, the Ashraf Kwesi, the Dr. Ben, under Ashraf Kwesi for over 16, 17 years. Okay, I was under Dr. Ben 27 years before he died. I was under Dr. John Henry Clark 10 years before he died. Under Walter Williams now for 10 years. Okay, and I'm talking about being in close proximity. I'm not talking about just in no damn lectures and shit. I saw Dr. Ben when I was in Egypt. Didn't even know he was over there. You see what I'm saying? But I ran into Dr. Ben in Egypt not the same year I was raised, the year before, no, the first year I went to Egypt, 2003. And then the year I was raised, I come back home to Detroit, and Dr. Ben snuck to Detroit because he got, Dr. Ben used to stay in Detroit. He used to teach at Wayne State University. And so, you know what I'm saying? So he had older friends that he loved in Detroit. Long before I was even born, he was teaching in Highland Park, you know, right out as a suburb. It ain't really, it's part of Detroit, really, because it's inside of Detroit. But he used to teach in the summer at Highland Park Community College. And so Dr. Ben got a lot of friends in Detroit. And so, you know, to know that, you know, he snuck up there the year I was raised. And I looked, and no, I got a call. They was like, Dr. Ben is in Detroit. I'm like, where the hell he at? Dr. Ben, as old as he was, he got on the plane by himself, scooting, and came to Detroit. Man, the brothers was out at the damn airport before he could get off the damn plane. They had bum rushed there and brought Dr. Ben down to see his very good friend in Detroit. I forget the brother name. It'll come to my memory, and it'll come to my mind in a minute. Okay, but let's move on here. This is one of the other 11 churches you see right here, carved down out of the mountain. No brick, no blocks or nothing. You know how good you gotta be to do that? You understand what I'm saying? You can't even make a mistake. You can't even make a mistake, because if you make it, it's gonna be so obvious. So these was master architects. You talking about 11, you know, so you talking about from, you know, and they building, listen here, Ethiopia is still master architect. I was just over there, maybe, when I went there on let me see, 7 years ago, I was there. And so I got to go back and re-up, you know what I'm saying? But they was building, and they still beautiful building. I say, damn. And everybody always talking about Ethiopians starving. Man, the family ain't lost none of that science. They ain't lost none of that science. They just been starving Africa to the point where we can't be the best we could be because we still trying to get up on our feet. You see what I'm saying? And so 17 is the Axum stela or obelisks, okay? 4th century AD. Now, all of them don't weigh the same. Now, the one to the right, they call the Axum stela, and some people with their crazy mind will call this the Roman stela, because when Mussolini, with his wicked ass, during World War II, when they was having, Hitler was bombing the British and the French, Mussolini was down in Ethiopia. Okay, he was mad because he didn't get when the Europeans was carving up Africa, he didn't get a piece. So Ethiopia was about the last nation that had never been conquered. And it never was conquered. They never conquered, even when they was in there, they never fully conquered. So Ethiopia is the only African nation that never been colonized. Okay, we got to give credit to Mama Ethiopia now. Axum, baby. We got to give credit. Never been colonized. So even when they came in, the Black Lions were still on their guerrilla warfare, fighting from the outskirts. So the Italians had the cities, but they never had the rural areas. Okay, they never had the rural areas. So Ethiopia was never colonized, even though they invaded, they were never colonized. So you see, you know, they brought it back, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 years ago. No, it wasn't even there when I was there. Let me quit lying. It probably just got back there a few years ago, because I was there 7 years ago and it wasn't there yet. So it probably got there within that amount of time. You can see it, pictures of it, when it was in Italy. They took it and broke it down and took it to Italy. Now, it's back in Ethiopia now, but I don't know what the Ethiopians had to give them to get that back. Because you know them crackers always underhand. Okay, and then you see one to the left of it. You know, these weigh tons and tons and tons. Now, the one that fell down, you know, that was the largest one, 500 tons. 500 tons. You see what I'm saying? Carved out of one block. Okay? And they say an earthquake did it. They say an earthquake did it. Okay, I don't know. I believe them crackers was trying to get them down and the motherfuckers fell down and broke. You know, I blame everything on the cracker. I don't let them get away with nothing. But it was the largest, the only other obelisk. Matter of fact, it's the largest single monument carved from one block in the world, in the ancient world. The only other one, but it wasn't raised, was the unfinished obelisk in Egypt of Hatshepsut, which weighed over 1,160 tons, twice that size. But it had a flaw in it, so they didn't raise it. Okay, so you talking about Axum is from about 100 to 1000 AD. And so them dates can fluctuate because they never want to say, but Axum took over from Nubia. When Egypt fell, Nubia was still a nation. Okay, Nubia remained a nation probably for almost, at least 500 years after Egypt fell. Nubia was still a nation, but Axum took over from Nubia, okay? And Axum took over from Nubia, and it's the last of the ancient Nile Valley civilizations. And it was one of the most powerful nations in the world at that time. You see that Red Sea, you see what they call the Sea of Punt. I don't call no Ethiopian Sea or none of that, okay? That's where them crackers that went over there and read, that's the Sea of Punt. And so that right there is one of, the trade route from Asia and, up the Red Sea into Europe. And so this was one of the most strategic waterways in the ancient world, and one of the most strategic today. That's why they over there messing with Somalia. And that's why Somalia, and you hear the Somalians firing on them damn United States boats and shit, because they over there fucking around trying to keep that economic waterway open for all they oil and all they imports and exports. So that's still, and we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna deal with that too. We're gonna deal with that as we get off into the year. We working out this year, family. When I say we're gonna grow, we're gonna grow. We're going to grow substantially. Me, you, and the whole family, even the haters going to grow. Because we're going to pull their ass in. They're going to get hit so goddamn hard, they're going to have to come in. They're going to say, God damn, I'm on the team, Seti. I'm on the team. Damn, you done beat me on the team, nigga. I can no longer listen